Okay, so this one is about polynomials still. So here we go. There we go. Now, the let me put the title up as I always do. Polynomials. This one will be the second one about the polynomials. Yeah. Polynomials. So I'll call it B. This time maybe I'll put capital B. All right, polynomials. And what we're dealing with right now is, we talked about addition and subtraction before. We started talking about multiplication. Here's multiplication. But here, first, let me show you some vocabulary. A monomial is just one term. So here's an example of monomial, 5x cubed. A binomial has two terms. And that would be, here's an example of a binomial, 5x cubed plus 2x. That's an example. A trinomial's got three terms. Here's an example of that, 5x cubed plus 2x minus 6. And then a polynomial is anything above 1. Polynomial, a binomial is a polynomial, a trinomial is a polynomial, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all those are polynomials. So that's just some quick vocabulary over here I'm putting off on the side. Okay, so we were dealing with multiplication, and here's our next multiplication. We only did one. Here's our next multiplication. It's similar to the last one. So I'll call it problem number 2 in multiplication. Hopefully I'm getting that straight. No, I apologize. So let's call it problem number 4. I call last one problem number 3. This is problem number 4. Minus 4x squared, y5, multiplying 1/2, this is, let me end the parentheses here and then start a new parentheses, 1/2 x cubed y. Okay? So we've got to deal with these two things multiplying each other. They're two monomials. If you want to get down to brass tacks, this is a monomial. There's no plus or minus in between something. You'd have to have to be a binomial, you have to have a plus or a minus in between two terms. So this is all one big one-termer. This is all one big one-termer. Two one-terms, two monomials multiplying each other. So do the numbers times the numbers. Minus 4 times 1/2 is going to be 1/2 of minus 4, which is negative 2. If you want to really see that formally, let me show you on scrap paper. Minus 4 over 1 times 1 over 2. 2 goes into 4 twice. No remainder. Minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 2 over 1 is minus 2. So minus 4 times 1/2 is minus 2. X squared times x3, add the two x's together. We've seen those rules before. I don't even have them up right now because I don't think we need them for the moment. And then y5 times the y with an understood 1 there is y6. And this problem is over. There is nothing we have to worry more about this problem. It's done. Okay, let's move on to problem number 5, and this is a very famous problem. It's binomial times binomial, and we use FOIL. That might sound pretty familiar from the past. What if you have 4x? They like to use, the book likes to use all sorts of different letters, but if I'm going to start this new thing with a binomial and a crucial question, let me just use the old-fashioned x's. 4x plus 7 times 2x minus 3, and let's see what we're supposed to do. So there's this thing that you need to remember for all time here, FOIL. What does FOIL mean? Let me go off and learn a little bit of a tangent before I get back to the problem. What does FOIL mean? FOIL, the first F stands for first. Do the first times the first. Okay, let me explain that a little bit better in a second, but let me show you what these letters stand for. The second letter, O, stands for outside, the outside times the outside. Again, give me a chance to explain that a little bit better in a minute. The I stands for inside times inside. And L stands for last times last. Okay, so let me show you that in vividly here on the left-hand side. Let's do the problem and show you what that FOIL means more exactly. First times first is what we should do first, right? First times first. So 4x, that's the first term of the first set of the binomial, of the first binomial, and the first term of the second binomial. Multiply them. 4 times 2 is 8. X times x is x squared. Okay, now outside times outside. You can think of it as the defensive ends for a sports metaphor. Outside times outside. So 4x times negative 3 is negative 12x. The outside term times the outside term. Now inside term, the two tackles, the sports metaphor. Inside times inside. 7 times 2x, that's going to be 14x. And finally, last times last, the last term of the first binomial times the last term of the second binomial, 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Now, you cannot sign off on this problem until you see if there's like terms, and there's going to be like terms, almost always. Minus 12x plus 14x are both like terms that can be combined. So before you submit your final answer, the answer is 8x squared. Minus 12x and 14x is going to be positive 2x. 14 minus 12 is 2x. Right? Keep the sign of the larger. The larger was positive, so it wins, so the answer is positive. And minus 21, there's nothing we combine it with. And here is our final answer after using FOIL. So what started off with two binomials multiplying each other created 4 terms at first, but then they two combined to give us a trinomial. And I can always predict how many terms I'm going to get, at least at first, at least initially, before we do any combining like terms. And if there's 2 terms here and there's 2 terms here, I know for sure that my second line is going to have 4 terms if I play it all out and if I don't skip any steps. 4 terms. I know in advance what it's going to be. And a monomial times a monomial, 1 times 1 is only 1 term times 1 term, and it creates only 1 term. Okay, so that's the story. That's classic FOIL, classic binomial times binomial. So here's what you got to do. You got to practice this. So if you're doing this at home, but let me move up the paper. I think I got some more room. So don't have much. So I believe what I'll do is I have a technique here. Just takes me a second to show you another to give us another clean page. There we go. There's a clean page. Now let me show you the next one. The next one that you can try if you want to, if you're looking at watching this tape at home after class, you can stop the video and simply try this yourself. 5y squared minus 6x. But let's do this together. I'm up to, I think I'm calling this problem number 6. Minus 6x times 2y squared plus 3x. Okay. First times first, right? Don't forget, FOIL. First times first, 5y squared times 2y squared is going to be 10y4. Outside times outside is going to be, and now it's going to be a mixture of x's and y's. I'm going to put the x first. So this is going to be positive 15. 5 times 3 is 15. They're both positive. And then there's the x, and then there's our y squared. That's outside times outside. Okay, inside times inside is my next one. So it's minus 6x times 2y squared. That'll get me minus 12. Minus 6 times positive 2 is minus 12. Then comes my x. Then comes my y squared. And finally, last times last is minus 6 times 3 is minus 18. X times x is x squared. The two terms in the middle can be combined because they're exactly like terms. They exactly match. Xy squared, xy squared. So 10y4 appears in the final answer. 15 minus 12 is going to be positive 3xy squared appears in the final answer. And minus 18x appears in the final answer. And there is our complete story with FOIL. Okay, we're going to do some more of this on the next one, on the next video. So let me sign off on this one and move to the next video for some more of multiplication of polynomials.